let's talk about resonance fingerings and what they can do for you. Make sure when you're done watching this video to go ahead to the link down in the description to get a free PDF that will act as review and support for everything we're about to talk about. Resonance fingerings are for what we call the throat tones on the clarinet. Throat tones, probably not the best name for them, but G, no fingers, A flat, A, and B flat. These notes are particular notes on the clarinet in that they are very short. Nothing wrong with being short unless you're a clarinet note, because then the tube that has active resonance in terms of air is very short, right? So B flat goes to here, you know, and then let's say you're going to play a C, that goes all the way to here. So there's a huge differential in the amount of air actively vibrating. So, but here is the thing. Here is the secret. Not really a secret. Everybody knows it. And if you don't know it, you're going to know it in a second. And that is, we can add fingers that are not otherwise in use to create more activity in the tube of air that is our clarinet as we play those notes, right? So this, what is essentially, I think, would be called standing air, gets more active. It's going to add overtones to your sound. It's going to change the pitch in a good way, because these notes tend to be a little bit sharp. Have you ever noticed that? They tend to be a little bit sharp. There are three main advantages to using resonance fingerings. The first one is simply getting from the shallow to the clarion register. So if we're playing A and we want to go to B, we can just put our entire right hand down on B. Or if we're going to C, we can put it all right on C. C sharp. You know, you get the idea. You can put all three primary fingers down and your pinky. No problem. A flat, A, B flat, that's all true. It is not true with G. G is a little bit of an outlier in this. G is relatively well in tune if you just leave it alone, and you can't influence it quite as much because of just, you know, where the air comes out and what fingers you're putting down. So there's less options with G. I want you to keep that in mind. All right, but speaking of G, let's start with G. It's a pretty good note. Let's check it out. I've got my tonal energy tuner on. I'm going to put it up in the corner, or this corner, or that corner, I don't know, whenever I'm playing these notes, so you can see what's going on pitch-wise and overtone-wise, because those are the two things we're talking about here with every single note. So I'm going to play just a regular G. Remember, when you're using a tuner, I'm going to say it again. If you haven't seen my tuning video, it's pretty good. You should check it out. I'll link it down in the description. But you shouldn't look straight at the tuner when you're looking at the meter of the tuner. It's a faulted idea. Then you're going to start tuning with your eyes, and it messes up how you play. So you want to get a real, true read on where your note is. You do it by looking over there, and then changing your eyes to over here to see where the note actually is without influencing it with what it looks like to you. $0.04 sharp. I feel pretty good about that. I mean, listen, we all want the tuner to read 0.0. It's never going to do it. Not for very long when we play an instrument like the clarinet. So $0.04 sharp, I'll take it. What if I want to edge this down, I'm going to put just my ring finger of my left hand down. Watch. I'm going to start regular fingering, go to the resonance fingering. So I'm getting a couple cents different. Not too bad. What if I want to get a little bit more? What if I put 1/3 of my right hand down? That changes the sound and the pitch. Let's see the difference. Just look at the pitch and the overtones. The lines that go across are overtones that are present in the sound. This is included in a lot of my videos. This is the Tonal Energy Tuner that does this. It's a terrific tuning app, and a great metronome for that matter. And what it does is it really shows you the full spectrum of that note. But what we're really looking for is the difference, and so we can see what difference is represented in what we hear. So I'm going to go from regular G to G plus 1/3 of the right hand. And by the way, I call these my primary fingers, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if I was going to just say, you know, put right hand 1, 3, it looks like this. So I'm going to go standard to right hand 1, 3. So we notice a pretty big difference in the pitch. And now where this really gets to be different, I'm going to just blast through this because this is all in my tuning video. You should really check it out there in its full glory. But if we're playing the root, third, fifth, seventh, wherever we are, whatever interval we're playing, our instrument needs to match up with the natural harmonic series, which means the note needs to be pretty mobile. If we're playing the root, we need to play in tune. If we're playing the third, we need to be 12 to 15 cents flat. If we're playing the fifth, we need to be 0, perfect, or 2 cents sharp to really register right in tune. So we do want these notes to be mobile, pitch-wise. So I'm using all this as an example on a G. So if I'm playing the root of a chord, that chord is a G chord. If I'm playing in a C chord, C, E, G, we're talking major chords here, that's the fifth, I need to be just a little bit sharp. And if I'm playing the third, that would be an E flat major chord, E flat, G, B flat, that note needs to be very seriously flat. Now, you don't actually need to know all that. You can actually hear these things very intuitively, but you need to know how to make your instrument do the things and still sound good, right? So if I'm playing a G in a G chord, I'll put it there. A little flat, but I'll put it there. If I'm playing a G in a C chord, I'll put it there. If I'm playing a G in an E flat major chord, not even quite flat enough, but significantly flatter. And that is all done within the same tone color palette, essentially, just a little bit of a different of a shade. But this is really useful if you're playing in a clarinet section in a band, or if you're playing in a woodwind section in an orchestra, to be able to move these notes without unfocusing your sound or changing your fundamental tone color. Super, super important. Let's move on to some other notes. We've got 3 more notes. They have a lot more options. Now, in all of these notes, we're going to start on A flat. I kind of think of this as 2 sets. I think of it as 2, 3, 2, 3, and variations with the pinky, or 2, 3, 1, 2, and variations with the pinky. You could mix the primary fingers up however you want, and you should check them all out. This is what I found to be the most useful to me. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play an A flat, nothing special, just an A flat. Then I'm going to play 2, 3, 2, 3, and then I'm going to cycle around with the pinkies. I'm going to put the tonal energy app up. We're going to see the differences in pitch and tone quality. Some differences. Now I'm going to play 2, 3, 1, 2. Same thing with the pinkies. I'm going to go regular, 2, 3, 1, 2, then the pinkies. Some different choices there. So now we're talking significantly different tone color changes. And that we can do with A, same idea. 2, 3, 2, 3. First, standard A, 2, 3, 2, 3. Then I'm going to mess with the pinkies. Now 2, 3, 1, 2 with the pinkies. Same thing with B flat. 2, 3, 2, 3, then the pinkies. Standard 2, 3, 2, 3, pinkies. Now I'm going to go 2, 3, 1, 2, then the pinkies. So we get some different choices. Now, here's the thing. I can't tell you what fingering you should use or anybody else. I can barely figure out what fingering I should use because it changes from player, changes with the clarinet, changes with the reed, changes with the mouthpiece. All these variables are different. And also, what piece are you playing? Because there's just the talk of the pitch, which is great. And again, there's three things. There's register changes from a fingering standpoint, how you're going to want to work this out. From a pitch standpoint, how you're going to want to work it out. And from a tone quality standpoint, how you're going to want to work this out. So there's three factors. And then, contextually speaking, are you playing in a clarinet section, a woodwind section? What note are you playing? There's a lot of variables. And so my suggestion is get comfortable with the ability to make these changes on the fly, to understand what they're going to do and get the results that you want to get in that moment. It can be difficult to get that agility. And to get the agility, here's my suggestion. Find one that feels good to you. It feels good in your hands. It sounds good. Use that one as your basic one. Use it for find a good A fingering, invented the way you like it, that fits in well in your clarinet and puts you pretty well in tune. Use it, use it, use it, use it, and then start to think about the context of where that note is in terms of what you're playing and where it is in terms of in the section and blending. Because it does get to be a little counterintuitive when to put the venting fingerings down, when not to, how fast can you do it, how quickly can you get in and out of them. You don't want it to mess up your technique, but you do need to practice using them so that you can eventually use them in the way that you want to. And hey, let me say right now, if you're looking to dig into things like that, solve problems that you have in your clarinet playing, get your voicing right so that you can have an easier time with articulation, dynamics, pitch, resonance fingerings, the whole thing, tonguing, making musical phrases, all of these things. The Clarinet Ninja Dojo is a great place to do it. I would encourage you to check it out. I'm putting some links down in the description for that, so you can see how working with me can really, really expand what it is that you can do with the clarinet, help you reach your goals. I would love to see you there. But also, these other videos that I'm talking about, the tuning video particularly, check it out. Because these resonance fingerings are going to really be a value add to your life. Make sure to check out the free download that I've added down in the description as well to give you a review of what we talked about, ideas for which resonance fingerings tend to work the best for me, and the ones I lean to. That way you can see if they work for you. If not, I'm going to put them all there, all the different combinations, so you can check it out.